Our council meeting this evening. This is January 20th. Our start time is 7:03. We apologize for a slight delay here, but we were in an extensive meeting in the other room, which we will go back into. So again, I appreciate your patience. And as customary, we do our prayer and pledge. And tonight, normally it would be Councilmember Thomas, but he is joining. He is online with us. However, knowing that he's not here, I will do the pledge first, which will be by Councilmember Tyson Roberts, and then I'll go ahead and say the prayer once he's finished. So with that,
please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dave, I'll wait just a moment for these folks to sit down. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful that we're able to gather here this evening as your governing body of this great city of Layton. We're very honored and pleased to be able to represent our citizens and ask thee to please bless us this night in assuring that we take all the appropriate actions that are necessary in order to assure the safety and well-being of our citizens. We're very honored to be able to recognize our staff members who have dedicated their life and time here to the city this evening, and we're grateful for their efforts. And we ask that a special blessing be upon our city, that all of those who are our first responders are protected in all of their actions as well, and that this city will continue to receive thy protective hand at all times. Again, we're grateful for those that are able to be here this evening and their families. And we ask these things humbly in thy name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
So, welcome everyone to tonight's City Council meeting. We do have a set of minutes that we're going to need to approve. So with that, Council, I'll entertain a motion, or if you have any corrections, to please make it known.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept the minutes of Layton City Council Strategic Planning Work Meeting, July 20th, 2021, as written.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved in second that we adopt the minutes from our strategic planning meeting of July 20th, 2021. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. That's unanimous. We'll go on to item number 2, which is our municipal announcements. Council, does anyone have anything they'd like to share? I'll make one quick announcement then. Our museum right here to the south of the campus, they have a great new display there right now. Actually, it's been up for a couple of weeks, but it's on the railroads. And you know, it's a great display when you get a citizen that calls and says, hey, the museum's got an awesome display on the railroads. I'm very impressed, and this is from a railroad enthusiast. So my hat's off to Annie Balmer, who's our curator, and the museum board and all those who have helped us in that area. So if you get a chance, I'd recommend that you go see it. And I also know that they have a driving tour of all the different William Allen designed homes in the city as well. So anyway, that's about the only announcement I have as well at this time. Okay, knowing that that concludes our municipal announcements, we are now going to go on to the single and best item of the evening. And with that, we do have some presentations for Years of Service Award, and I'll turn the time over to our city manager, Mr. Alex Jensen.
City employees and their families, so I think it's really a privilege to have you here.
seeking this is the secret sauce. The successful place that we're in there. This is what makes the city great. Employees and their spouses and families to support it. Particularly those who are not have the same commitments. It's really privilege.
Yeah.
Customers joined by phone, so then we asked them to come up with that list to see something to recognize it more publicly, and that's what we're going to see. There are several 20 years with the city. You hear me okay?
It's light, it's faint, so maybe speak up or more direct into the mic, maybe. Never a dull moment around here, right? I do have to say, though, this is impressive. I mean, you guys have filled the chamber. So anybody online that's witnessing this is awesome to see this many employees and their families here tonight. Do you want to use my mic? I think mine's working okay, right?
That better?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. Anyway, hopefully you were able to capture the gist of what I was saying. It's a privilege to have you here this evening, and not just to the employees, but also to your spouses, your significant others, and family members. And we understand for all the employees of the city, particularly for public works and public safety, but really for everybody, the success of the employee of individual at work has a lot to do with the support they have at home or through other relationships that have nothing to do with city employment per se. So even though we want to recognize individual employees this evening, it's really a thank you and a recognition of all of you and for what you contribute. We were in a staff meeting today, not to give too much of a speech, but as we were in a staff meeting today, I looked again at the list of employees that we would be recognizing individually this evening. As is the case all the time, I was, and I've done it a bunch of times, so it wasn't a surprise to me, but you forget. And I was struck by looking at the list of these names. These individuals are some of the very best employees the city has, and they're tenured. They have 20 years, 25 years, 35 years, and more, and yet, in my interaction with them, they're still among the very most dedicated, the most hardworking, the most energetic, the most loyal. And sometimes when we have longevity in careers, that begins to taper off, right? And we're looking to retirement and other kinds of things. This group does not do that. And what's amazing to me, which I'm grateful for as a blessing to the city, is that that's how I feel every time, every list that we do this. I always think those are some of the very best employees. And in the next list, I say the same thing, and it's based on experience. So I don't want to belabor that, but thank you. So what I'd like to do is, by years of service as opposed to departments like we've typically done in the past, have them come up, and would ask you to come up once your name is indicated, and come around there by Kim, and then start with Council.
Roberts?
Pardon?
Roberts?
Yes. I was going to call him Tyson, but Council Member Roberts, and we'll just come around and let them congratulate and shake your hands if that's okay. So the first of 20 years of service is Miss Judy Bell. I don't believe Judy's able to be here this evening. Judy works in community and economic development and works with processing permits, building permits, and dealing with the public there. So we'll make sure this gets to Chad, and he can present that to her. Next is Mr. Bob Astle. Bob's been with the city for 20 years. Bob works in the finance department, is involved in the IT, but he spends all his time in the police department. And Bob does an excellent job of helping to manage the technology in the department, keep it running and functioning, and of course that's critical infrastructure. So thank you, Bob. The next is Mr. Corey Waters. And Corey... Corey's also been with the city for 20 years and is responsible for maintaining all the facilities in the city. So this building, fire stations, surf and swim, etc., the maintenance and care of and operation of that, of all the systems, is under the direction of Corey. He does an outstanding job. The next is Mr. Joel Cromer. Joel is in the fire department and is an engineer. And finally, the last of 20 years is Miss Shannon Hansen. And Shannon has been with the city also for 20 years and is one of the assistant city engineers and does an outstanding job. For 25 years, we have 4 employees. I'd like to recognize the first is Mr. Mark Hoyt. Mark is a captain in the fire department. The next is Mr. Mark Chatlin. Mark is the Assistant Chief of Police for the city. Next, and also at 25 years in the police department, is Mr. Travis Lyman. Travis is lieutenant. finally, at 25 years, is Mr. Troy Blackner. And Troy is the lead worker in our traffic control operation in the city. At 30 years, we have two employees we'd like to recognize. The first is Mr. Merrill Overson. Merrill's our accounting manager at the city. Then also at 30 is Mr. Paul Apolloni. Paul is the Assistant Public Works Director for the city. Does a great job.
That's a first. See that
And then lastly, at 35 years, is Mr. Lonnie Smith. And Lonnie is the lead worker in the water department. So when your water lines get broke in the middle of the night, he's the one that's down in the hole, and many others getting it fixed. Does a great job.
Okay, you guys have you got your sanitizer in your drawer there for you. But anyway, congratulations. We really do appreciate all of the dedication to each one of these employees that's been recognized here tonight. But more importantly, like Mr. Jensen pointed out, it's the family. It's the extended families that we know that you guys are willing to share your spouses with us and, you know, your parents. It's what keeps the city rolling, and we love it. We really do, and I hope we see more of these type of awards going forward. Council, does anybody else wish to make a comment here?
I just this is the second time I've been able to participate with this, and maybe the third. I can't even remember. But it's all full here, and it's great because we have family members of the employees, spouses and children. But you're here with each other, coworkers here who are supporting their coworkers in the evening. I mean, you could be somewhere else doing something else, but no, you're here supporting your fellow workers. And so that it just talks to the respect and the caliber of employees that we have here. It's a team, it's a family, and just so congratulations, all of you who have worked here your entire life, and just grateful for your service and grateful that you're taking care and supporting each other.
Yeah, just to echo Councilman Morris, all of you who have worked for the city have helped as residents in the city for all these decades. I mean, the gentleman who'd worked for the city for 35 years, I'm 35, well, actually 36 years old. So he worked at the same job my entire life. That is an amazing accomplishment. Government gets a lot of bad rap, and maybe for the right reasons, but municipal government is different. because it's about what we can do to make sure that your neighbors have water, or if they call the fire department, that they have help, or the streets work, or all of that. And so it's about what we all do together. And so I'm just grateful for you guys, for all the work that you put in, for all the individual members of the city who don't even know that you do it. But hopefully you can know that we know that you do it, and that the city is in a good place, and we raise our kids here. We want to live here and work here because of the work that the members of the city staff do. So we so very much appreciate it. And thank you for all you do for the city.
Not to be redundant, but thank you, as what's been said, thank you, everyone. But on a personal note, I grew up here, so I've benefited from the work that all of you have done all of my life. So in every aspect, thank you. So thank you for your service and building a great community.
Like Tyson, I've benefited as well my entire life, and I just think it's really cool for not just those of you here, but whoever's watching on social media right now also to be able to celebrate that you've been able to be here and work for the city for this long. We really appreciate all that you do. And I just want you to know from us, as we've all said already, that we thank you so much, and that I feel honored that we're able to even honor you in such a way that we're able to honor tonight, where it's not just here, but it's also going abroad so other people can know how great of employees we have in our city. So thank you so much for what you've done for us. We appreciate it.
Very good. Councilman Thomas, but is he able to comment? He's still on, I think. Okay. If not, I know he'll make the rounds. You guys know him well enough, and he's been here long enough. I'm sure he'll want to personally thank everyone. So I think with that, this is a long meeting. However, I do need to see if there's any citizen comments, if there's anyone in the audience that did have a comment that they'd like to bring before us. Okay. If not, then council, do you have any unfinished business that you'd like to bring before me? If not, I'll entertain a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, it was seconded by Councilman Roberts. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here, and we're glad we had a meeting for you.